PathLink is the intelligent tool for website lead generation. With increasing online competition, over 98% of website visitors don't convert. The ability to successfully show your value proposition and support visitors in their buying journey separates you from the competition online. PathLink qualifies and converts leads on your website by figuring out where they are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with relevant micro experiences like case studies, intro videos, and much more. Stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversions by 50%. Add PathLink to your website in seconds. Let the AI do all the work and get access to 50% more qualified leads while you keep doing marketing and sales as usual. Check us on pathmonk.com. Welcome to today's episode. Let's talk about today's guest. We have Shahin from Venable, attorney partner there with them. How you doing, Shahin?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Ernesto.
It's great to have you on. I mean, you have a lot of journey there with them, almost close to 10 years. Is that correct?
That's right. I've been practicing over 10 years, 10 years here at Venable, though. That's right.
Awesome. Hey, well, there wouldn't be another perfect person to explain a little bit of what you guys do at Venable. So in your own words, can you tell us a little bit more?
Venable is a nearly 1,000 attorney law firm. We have offices throughout the United States. We're headquartered here in D.C. where I am, but we've got offices in New York, Chicago, Florida, California. We're really everywhere in the country. And we do essentially anything a business needs. We can help business from soup to nuts on formation of the business, marketing, any type of compliance issues, trademark issues. If a client gets sued in litigation, we'll defend that client. If a client wants to sue somebody else, we can help the client do that as well and go after things like competitors for all different issues. So really, you name it, we here at Venable will do it.
That's awesome to hear. And as talking about some clients, is there, I mean, I know you work with industries like you mentioned, right? Advertising and marketing, construction and healthcare, hospitality, I mean, cybersecurity. Is there one that you guys like to go for? Is there an ideal ICP for you guys?
It's a great question. It depends on our practice group, I would say. But for me, I really will work with clients of any size, typically, some startups all the way to the time that they're selling to some of the huge countries or the huge companies here in the U.S. So industry-wide, it could be anything. A lot of direct-to-consumer sales, though, in terms of products, consumer goods, as well as more informational. So I work a lot with lead generators, affiliate marketers, and do a lot of the advertising and marketing tech work and agreement work too there.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. So then how would somebody usually find out about Venable? Is there a top client acquisition channel for you guys?
There are two main ones. We have a website where we do a lot of content generation. And the second part of it is really referrals. If we do a good job for a client in a case or a matter, they are often our best advertising is a good referral.
Definitely. That's always important. And so that way our listeners who are tuned in can go ahead and visit you. You could always check them out at venable.com. What role then does the website play for client acquisition?
It's a great question. I think Venable was actually the first law firm in the country to have a website. We might have been the first or the second. Back when the internet was first created, lawyers are notoriously bad at using digital marketing. I think we're really behind the eight ball. We're just starting to catch up. What the website does for me and my practice in Venable generally is it provides us the opportunity to talk about what we've done in our experience on our bios and provide a lot of content generation, which gives people an understanding of what we do and what we know. For example, I'm in the ad law group. We have an ad law blog, all about adlaw.com. And we publish multiple times a week on things like what has the Federal Trade Commission done? What's going on the telemarketing side? If there's a new interesting lawsuit, there's a lot of auto renewal lawsuits going on that we talk about weekly. So all that's on the blog and we do alerts. We also have a podcast that we launched this year. I'm the co-host of the podcast, so I appreciate the work you do. Ernesto, that was a tough one. And then the other thing we do also is we'll do webinars and we'll generate traffic and push that traffic to the webinars so that we're able to give content, PowerPoint presentations to just educate people. And I think by educating people and talking about our case, various cases anonymously and giving ideas about our experience and how we handle things, it shows people that we know what we're talking about. And so they're able to watch it and see it and gives us more credibility. The one downside on lawyers and that why I think we're behind the eight ball is we are notoriously bad at converting. I saw a PathLink email on this the other day, and it's totally right. It's like, just because somebody visits a website doesn't mean they're going to convert. And, a vanity metric, if you ask me, impressions is very often it's a vanity metric unless it converts to something else, which it does, but it's not direct.
Exactly right. I think everybody's in that right part, right? Everybody wants that traffic on their website, but then what happens, right? Once they're on, then that conversion definitely. Thanks for that plug there. But talking about the a little bit about the website, then, Shahin, is there any tools or tips or methods that you would recommend to our listeners as far as some website lead generation?
So there's a couple of things that we do. One is making sure on the SEO side that we're capturing all the right terms. I can't tell you how many times I read these articles from other law firms where they just use these random legal terms that if I'm a marketer and I go online and I'm searching for something, those aren't the words I'm using. And I think it's interesting because who's a real lawyer in this area and who isn't by the way they talk. And do they speak the speak? Do they know what conversions are, A/B testing? Do they know what, all of these questions? And a lot of times you don't get that. So I would say making sure that you've got the right terms and you're doing the right SEO there, and making sure that you're inviting, I think, connections and outreaches from the leads, qualified leads. Otherwise, you just got a page and then you don't know. I can see the number of views, maybe click-through rates, but I don't know who's reading it really.
Definitely, and that's very, very important. So I'm glad that you were able to share that. You definitely have to have those keywords there, or else it's just gonna go different ways. So awesome to hear that from you, Shahin. And let's switch gears a little bit and let's talk about you as a leader, you being the attorney partner there at Venable. What are some key tasks you like to focus on your day-to-day work?
It's what I like doing most is talking to marketers, talking to CEOs about their problems and ways we can solve it. There's nothing that makes me happier than having someone call me in the morning or late at night, stressed out, and then the next day, by the end of the next day, they are sighing a sigh of relief because we've handled it. And that's my favorite thing. So it might be something like, we have this, our competitor has these, fake review websites and they're running traffic to it on Instagram and Facebook, but we don't actually know it's the competitor because they're using this fake mommy blogger and it's not really a real woman. So something like that. And we need to get that taken down now. And then getting it taken down now so that that traffic stops being diverted from my client. A client calls me and they say, I've just got this cease and desist letter from California lawyer, what's going on here? And then being able to answer that, handle that, take everybody's temperature down and say, this isn't going to be a business ending issue. This is going to be something we can handle quickly. There have been times, Ernesto, where I think on a Thursday night or a Friday morning, we find out that one of our clients got an asset freeze. The Federal Trade Commission came in, froze all of their assets, shut their CRM down, shut everything down. My partner and I jumped on the case, and I think by the next Tuesday or Wednesday, we had gotten the FTC to agree to drop the asset freeze against our client. And then 2 or 3 weeks later, the FTC dropped the case entirely, which is pretty unheard of. But I just will never forget during the weekend, nobody wants to be on the phone over the weekend stressing out about these things. And so just taking everybody's temperature down initially, and then actually getting a result where people can go home to their families. This isn't on their mind. Solving problems for me is really, that's my job.
Definitely. All right. Awesome to hear that. And just the resolve, right? They call it, I'm sure you've seen it, right? The series Suits, you're like Harvey Specter, right? You're the best closer out there. So great to hear that from you. And so how would then, it sounds like you're busy all day resolving issues at whatever time, but is there, how do you stay up to date then with the marketing information going out there? There's a lot of overwhelming data. Is there a specific channel that you like to go with?
On staying on top of marketing and everything?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's just, I have thought leaders that I follow. I follow websites. I follow blogs. Pathmark is a good, you guys are great at this. I have other companies and even my clients, I will actually get on the phone with them and just chat with them about what's going on in AI, what's going on in marketing. Obviously, I'm not billing them for it. They're telling me something. They're educating me. And it really is a way to stay on top of this because the marketing world is just changing so rapidly and there's so many issues and you just have to be ahead of the 8 ball because otherwise you're not gonna survive.
Definitely. All right. Great to hear that from you. And well, let's jump into our next section here, Shahin, which is our rapid fire question rounds. Are you ready for them?
I think I am.
All right. Perfect. Awesome. First off then, Shahin, what is the last book that you read?
I read The Book of Beautiful Questions by Warren Berger.
Okay. All right. Interesting read there for our listeners. Next up then is, what is one single thing your firm is focused on at the moment the most?
I would say expansion, and really using this just expansion for marketing tools, like making sure that we're getting all of the right clients in all the industries we want, especially as things are changing.
Definitely. Okay. Great to hear that. Next then is, if there would be no boundaries in technology, what would be that one thing that you want to have fixed for your role as a marketer today?
I think knowing what the audience and what the clientele wanted, if there was a way to automate essentially where my clients are on any given issue or any given time, figuring that out, as opposed to I'm on the phone with the clients throughout the week. And it's so funny because I'll get the same call from 5 different clients asking the same question. In other words, I know there's people talking behind the scenes. I know a lot of times my clients know each other. Like, hey, I was talking to Joe. I know you were talking to Joe, and they're telling me those things. But I always wish I could get that. I wish I could know about those conversations before they were happening, so that I would be right there with them, and I wouldn't have to have 5 phone calls with 5 different people.
Okay. All right. Sure. Great. Awesome. Next then is, if there's one repetitive task that you could automate, what would that be?
Responding to emails that are administrative, and I think all of the administrative tasks of being a lawyer, we have so many ethical obligations, like conflicts checks. Before we see somebody, we need to make sure that we don't represent the company that we're suing. So really going through all of those admin, and especially at a big law firm with 1,000 lawyers, you can imagine we represent so many different clients, and doing all of those things just takes time. Even if you just want to make sure you can get things done really, really quickly. But then that's anywhere is going to be the red tape if you're a successful law firm.
Definitely. Yep. I would agree. And then, well, lastly then, Shahin, I mean, you have a lot of experience already with marketers and in the world, but what is that one piece of advice that you would give yourself if you were to restart your journey as a marketer today?
I think that I would tell myself to focus on ROI. In other words, making sure that we all only have 24 hours in the day. Whenever somebody says, I don't have time for that, I think that's such a silly thing to say, because I say, oh, well, you have 24 hours, so do I. So don't say you don't have time for it. You're not prioritizing it. But what I wish I could have known when I was much younger was that making sure that I'm prioritizing what is going to give me the most bang for my buck. And I say it in the marketing sense, right? Like sometimes we write articles or we do these pitches, these massive pitches, where it's like, we're never going to get the client. We just know it. And the article is going to be read by 5 people and it's not going to lead to anything. So there's that. But I think in life too, really focusing on priorities and ROI, even if that just means like the company you keep, the vacations you take, things like that.
Yep, I would agree, right? I think prioritizing, and not like you mentioned in work and in life definitely takes you a long way. So I'll also hear that from you, Shahin. And well, I do want to thank you for being on the show with us today, Shahin. And before we end, though, I do want to give you the last word. Now, if someone forgets everything about the interview today, what is that one thing they should remember about Venable?
They should know that if they have a problem that needs a legal solution, that a lawyer can handle it, Venable can handle it. That's what we as lawyers are here for, are to help you solve your problems.
Well, there you guys heard it. You can always check them out at venable.com. I do want to thank Shahin for being on today's episode, as well as to our listeners for being on today's episode. And, well, I'm looking forward to our next episode at Pathmunk Presents. Thanks a lot, Shahin.
Thanks for having me.